She's not only an amazing writer, but she's also a recent graduate from Skyline High School. She attends Cal right now, and Stefanie truly believes at her core that poetry is the coping mechanism for many young people here in Oakland. So without further ado, I need you guys to make some noise as loud as possible for my friend, my little sister, the first ever Oakland Youth Poet Laureate. Clap it up for Miss Stefanie
I wrote about my relationship, and it's entitled Till Death. Like wind caressing wayward leaves, he grasps my hands, fearful of letting them return to the earth. At minimum, my boyfriend must remind me once every 2 weeks that I can't make love to him buried beneath flower beds and that tombstones don't make proper pillars for survivors of suicide, because I'm mentally ill as I think I am. We're supposed to sleep side by side on a Tempur-Pedic someday. In distress, my body contorts itself into the C-shaped helix of an ear, and he holds his chest up to mine like a seashell, telling me I'm beautiful. It almost drowns out all the reasons I think he should leave me. Before my first and current relationship, I wondered how potential suitors would react when their fingertips wandered and read my wrists like braille. Here lies emotionally unstable girl with their hugs become like straitjackets, or in a box of belongings where they take back every I love you they ever said. I trace self-inflicted scars like thumbs across smartphone touchscreens, estimating how long it'll be till I break. Then, who will want me? Besides clinical trial sponsors looking to sell antidepressants like mobile apps. As if born from the ocean, he asks why I apologize for crying so much. He fashions lifesavers for pinky promises, assures me that everything will be okay, gets worried when I don't respond and turns my chin towards his face, waiting for words like tap water that remain trapped in clogged rain gutter throat, because he gazes into my eyes like crystal balls and claims to see a future together. Everything may be fine as I speak this, but I've envisioned dream wedding in the spring with 3-tier chocolate cake, wearing tulle or lace ball gown, fewer times and in less detail than my suicide. Since 8th grade, depression has rammed my head against mirrors, using my face as a dish rack so I can feel the ugliness of my reflection, insists I'm not broken. When you've seen how quickly I forget why you love me, you may think we're a match, but I'd rather let you leave now than watch your charcoal hair turn to ash as you burn yourself out in attempts to fix me, realizing that you can't. The last time I visited you, I saw you cry for the first time. You offer gentle smiles like umbrellas at the sight of teardrops, but looked at me through glossy red-rimmed marble eyes as we waited for my bus at the Amtrak station. It was the first time I realized that you needed me. We're gonna go on a picnic at some point. Pack whatever I know how to make and get lost in a forest where the trees all look the same, because he follows the compass inlaid in the palm of his hand. He doesn't flinch or fear getting hurt. He collects memories like flower pollen and molds our laughter into honeycomb, calling it home. Thank you. God, I'm just so glad I actually remembered that. But here is for Oakland. 1. Walking down unfamiliar streets in Oakland, you imagine bullets flying through the air like bats seeking to nestle in the cavity of your chest. You may know better, but where you live, the trees encompass the cul-de-sac like fans crowding a concert stage. Gunshots and sirens are drowned out by twittering birds, and your house is burglarized by families of raccoon and deer. You were surprised when a friend explained the higher likelihood of corner house robbery in his neighborhood. Corner houses like your own, too. When you befriend people from out of town, make believe you're tour guide leading them through cavern less explored. Showcase areas like Chinatown, like Baines and Orr. Promise to show them the precious stones embedded in the ceiling, the good places to eat. You won't go after daylight, or stay any longer than necessary. Your ignorance and paranoia weave into cables and tie themselves around your cabinero hands to pull you away from non-existent danger. 3. Every time that guy in your Korean class says the Norebang in Oakland are scary because he thinks they're located in the ghetto, You want to tell him that Corio Village is not in the ghetto. He'll say he doesn't want to get shot while singing karaoke with gangsters. You want him to see that he's singing in the Little Mermaid's grotto, but fears knowing what it means to become part of their world. 4. While waiting to receive your honor at the city council meeting, become stalagmite spectator in the wake of injustice. Sit uncomfortably as protesters and family members gather through Allen Bloomberg chant and clap their hands like chalkboard erasers, filling the room with clouds of crime scene residue. Only then acknowledge how much of your hometown is blanketed in limestone and gunpowder. 5. Now that more people are starting to see Oakland in a better light, mass excavation of its arts and culture are underway. First Fridays is a prehistoric cave painting exhibit all want to see, and everyone is an archaeologist when they buy crafts from local vendors. 6. Oakland is a cave you're unwilling to chart, whose mouth you peek into while claiming to be proprietor of its mining operations. Admit you've become corporate head, who's become so far from the source, your voice caves in as your faults rupture and contradiction trembles through the epicenter of your lips like seismic waves. You still float on trendy riptides that reel in all the hype, while waiting in the shallow end, the outskirts, in the rich, predominantly white neighborhood. This acknowledgement alone will do nothing for your community when you are afraid of what you try to take pride in. Learn to ignore the echoes of nightly newscast homicide counts that bounce against the street signs within city limits. Stumble forward into the abyss, allowing the community to dampen your fears and letting the urban legends within your mind die out in the darkness. Thank you.
Here we all are to give our first Youth Poet Laureate Award. Stefanie! Congratulations to Stefanie! And I just have to do a couple of little things to thank people. Youth Speaks John DiTargiani Youth Poet Laureate Fund, and the fabulous friends of the Oakland Public Library who funded the $5,000 scholarship check. And there she is! There she is! We're so happy to do this.